Hi, I'm Dr. Rachel Katzenellenbogen, and I'm the Chuck and Tina Pagano Scholar at the IU Simon Comprehensive Cancer Center. I'm also an Associate Professor of Pediatrics and an Associate Professor of Microbiology and Immunology here at Indiana University School of Medicine. Let me tell you about my research. So I do research on human papillomavirus, or HPV. It's a very common infection for both men and women. And it's estimated that over our lifetime, 85% of men and women will get an HPV infection. There's a fantastic vaccine against HPV, but many of us have not received it before we've gotten infected. And so it's really important to understand this virus. The reason it's important to understand this virus is because the virus causes cancer. It causes cancer of the cervix, causes head and neck cancer, and other kinds of anogenital cancers, none of which does a person want to get. So I really research how HPV affects the cells that it infects to drive cancer development and progression. The funding from Chuck Strong has been instrumental in the work that I do. I've been able to bring on people into my lab who are experts in microbiology, virology, and oncology to be able to do the work that I want to do. It's been fundamental in establishing collaborations within the Cancer Center with other colleagues who do research on HPV and other infection-associated cancers, and then ultimately care for people who have these types of cancers in our catchment area in the entire state of Indiana. And so some of the exciting work that we've been doing this past year is trying to understand ways that we can intervene with how HPV affects the cells that it infects to actually shut down the way that it can make those cells keep on growing like a cancer, making those cells become sick, dying off, not able to invade and metastasize in someone's body. And so we've been able to really sort of merge from just research on the biology and the pathology, but also ways to actually treat and intervene. We have been collaborating with a number of researchers at the Cancer Center, including Dr. Pat Lair, to understand HPV and cervical cancer in women who have HIV in Kenya and Uganda. And so some of the very exciting work that we've been doing this past year is actually recruiting women to participate in studies to try to understand what are the markers that they may have in samples that come from a typical doctor's visit that might be a precursor to their infections advancing. Or what could be markers that are a precursor that those infections might be going away. And so we're really dovetailing with some exciting clinical screening and intervention studies with this large project internationally to try to understand biologically what are the ways that we can better predict and counsel and advise a woman on what are her risk factors. And this applies to women who have HIV or AIDS and women who don't. And so this has effects in our interpretation of how to manage women globally and locally.